Okay, welcome to another Tarot News at 8. I think we'll look at Diana today. She's in the news. It's Mother's Day and William shared a never before seen picture of her to the media. So always wants to do a reading on Diana. So here's an opportunity. I'm going to jump on that. Was she murdered? The obvious question, isn't it? Everyone wants to know. What sort of person was Diana? Did she love Charles? Is Harry the son of Charles? That's something that's always on the rumour mill. Was she pregnant at the time of her death? Was she going to marry Jodie? And would she approve of Kate? Would she approve of Meghan? So, you know, unfortunately she's not here, bless her. So let's just ask the cards and see what happens. Obviously, I'm hypothesising. So do not take the cards literally. Disclaimer, I'm just asking the cards questions. And I've asked for love and light. So I think I've had a little shuffle. Let's get stuck in and see what the cards say, shall we? Okay, so Diana, was she murdered? Oh, look at this. It's the card of responsibility. Let me just zoom in. I mean, that normally means, yeah, someone's responsible for her death. That's the first thing I'd say I get from this card, because it's the card of responsibility. So someone's responsible for her death. That's the first thing I would say. It's really sad, actually, because it's the emotional freedom card, which kind of means that her death made her emotionally free. I mean, that's really sad. But this is a card of feeling overwhelmed, burdened, and you're nearing the end of a mission or goal or stage in your journey. So, I mean, wow, that was the end for her. That was the final stage in her journey. But it's also the card of unforeseen setbacks. So I don't know, it's saying that, you know, someone's responsible for her death. There's no doubt about it. And there was visions of her death. You know, it's a card of vision as well. And it's a card of burdens. So someone definitely saw her as a burden. But it's sort of saying that her death gave her emotional freedom, or certainly gave someone emotional freedom. So it's not clear if she was murdered, but it's certainly saying someone's responsible. She found emotional freedom in her death, or someone did, and had a clear vision of her death as well. So, you know, when you say that, it does lean more towards murder, especially the clear vision of the death. But I'm just touching on that today. So I would say that the jury's out on it. It's definitely someone's responsible for her death, it's saying, and there is a clear vision of her death. And it was the end of her journey. This card is the end of a journey. And it's a card of emotional freedom. Now, you could speculate that that could be Charles was emotionally free from her death. But it could also be saying that she was emotionally free, because I always felt she was a troubled individual, Diana. So I'd have to come back to that at a different date to ask about the murder. I think that'd be an intense reading. But overall, it's saying, yeah, someone's responsible, and there's a clear vision of death, and someone's emotionally free because of her death. So what sort of person was Diana? God almighty, I mean, she was hard to handle. That's what this is saying. Absolute destructive force, Diana was. So very hard to predict what she'd do next, and caused a lot of fear, I'd say, within, because this is card of fear. So even though she came across as very princess-like, shall we say, people were scared of her, you know. And this is like the out of control card. I mean, they didn't know what to do with her at all. And actually, this is the card once again. The first card was like an unforeseen turn of events, and so is this. So it's a very fragile foundation. I always felt she was troubled, Diana. And this is the loss of a relationship. So she was someone who was always seen as a person who was on her own. Like the relationship couldn't be contained. You know, someone who was always in the middle of a battle regarding a relationship. But it's saying that people feared her. You know, this is a card of being fearful of what she'd do next, really. It's a card of freedom. So she had a lot of belief in herself, that she was strong, like her foundations were, but I always felt she was very troubled, Diana. So, and it's because, I mean, her feelings are so erratic, like people just didn't know what to do with her, and it's also a dramatic turn of events, which could, of course, be the car crash that ended her life. So, yeah, someone who's very destructive in her character, always alone, always in the middle of an end of a relationship, probably because she was just all over the place with her emotions, and feared. But people feared her. Now, if that card leans on that one and you're saying people feared her, well, fear can lead to people being murdered, can't they? Because they're fearful of what they'll do next. They need to stop them. So, but what I would say is, I'm asking what sort of person was Diana. Well, she was bloody destructive. People didn't know what to do with this woman. So yeah, and there was a lot of fear around her, and what would she do next? So yeah, that's an interesting card. Did she love Charles? Oh, it's really sad. She definitely saw him as someone to look up to. It's the card of the mentor. So what I would say is that she really thought Charles, because she was younger, wasn't she? She thought Charles was someone who she could really look up to. She put a lot of hope in him. And she looked to him for wisdom and balance, because obviously that last card, the Tower, you can see she was almost like she's young, destructive, and he's sort of this stoic type character. And she was looking towards him to maybe balance her out a bit, But it's a card of someone who's just, Charles. So I'm not getting someone who she's married here who's not a good person. It's normally a just man, and actually this is the card of having a romance with a wealthy older man, which was what Charles was. So I'm just wondering if did she love Charles? Well, I think she definitely saw him as someone who could offer her a life that she wanted, and she had a lot of respect for him, and she was hoping that maybe she did realise, oh, I'm a bit flaky, I need someone who can show me the way, someone who's wise and all. And so she went for him. He was older, and he was stable. He was in a stable position. And actually, was it love? Well, the cards are saying no, not necessarily. She was just attracted to his wiser, older self, if you like. So that's interesting. I thought that would be like sort of a dreaming, she was totally in love with him, but it's saying no, the first thing that attracted her was he was wiser and older, she felt, and that maybe he could balance her out, because she's always been aware she's this sort of flower in a storm, or she was beautiful, Diana. She was a beautiful looking person, and I do think that she radiated some kind of love, but it's saying that she was also very destructive, and didn't know how to behave at times, and I think she went for Charles because he was older, wiser, and could give her stability. She looked to him almost like a teacher. He wasn't very good at teaching though, was he? I mean, he ended up having an affair, etc. I think he should have handled her with a bit more care, because he knew how destructive she was, and I feel like he took that for granted. He didn't realise just how destructive she was. But is Harry the son of Charles? I mean, I don't even like asking that. She's passed. And but it's always on the rumour mill, isn't it? So, we have to ask these questions. So is Harry Charles's boy? Well, we've pulled the High Priestess here. That's intuition, higher self, healing, guided by intuition. Now, this is weird because this is secret information, this card as well, that will soon be revealed, and what's hidden will be exposed. So to me, well, if he is Charles's son, what's to be exposed here? Why is there a hidden meaning that's, just lurking in the background waiting to be exposed? So what I would say is that, if we take this card for that side of it, then yeah, he's not Charles's, because what is this secret information around him? Shouldn't we be seeing like a father figure card here, or love or something? But what we're seeing is secret information, that is to be exposed, And when you look at this card, I suppose you've got a cat either side, which, you know, you could say is a choice of the two fathers, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's saying there's a secret here to be exposed. So, oh, that's interesting. It's suggesting that maybe Harry isn't Charles's, because what would be the secret information to expose? You know, and we've got the red hair here, haven't we? That that Harry has. Yes, it's interesting. We'd have to do another reading on that, a more in-depth one, but it's saying there's definitely secret information to be exposed here, and intuition. It's almost saying, I do think Diana was intuitive, even though she was destructive as well. She was intuitive, and I think she had an inkling that maybe Harry wasn't Charles's. Now, if he's treating her, like I said, I didn't get a lot of love there for Charles. I think she turned to him. He was an older, wiser man, and she needed care, and I do think he'd be the first to admit that maybe he lacked in that. He was very stoic, and he couldn't see just how destructive she was. So she would turn to someone for love, wouldn't she? So, yeah, I mean, it is saying there's a secret here to be exposed. So, I mean, you have to take the cards for what they're saying. And this is saying that, yeah, Harry's not Charles's. There's a good indication here that he's not. Was she pregnant at the time of her death? I mean, she could have been. I'm not getting the Empress card here, but what I am getting is the Four of Pentacles, and that's stability. So in a relationship, and it's happiness, and there's a foundation being built here for a couple. So I'd definitely say that at the time of her death, she was definitely looking at, and also it's a card of vacations, and she had quite a few, didn't she, with Dodie? So it's saying there's definitely a happier time for her. That, you know, there was foundations being built here for a lovely, stable relationship. Now, I've asked, is she pregnant? And it's saying no. I mean, I'm not getting an Empress card here, but what it is saying is it could have led to that, because this is like a really strong partnership being built here, a relationship built on happiness, and there was foundations being put down. So I would say it could have led to that. If she wasn't, it could have led to that, because, you know, that's what this is looking like. It's they're setting down foundations for a future. And then, like, was she going to marry Dodie? So, I mean, it's a card of friendship here. It's the Three of Cups. So, while Diana's destructive, I think she was very aware of her position. That's what I would say, the position that she was in. But, so was she going to marry him? Well, you know, this is the card of weddings as well. So I would say, I mean, I really get the feeling that they were building foundations here from that last card to lead, because it's fun, joy, happiness, you know, this card, and it is the card of weddings. So, I mean, you have to go by that too. And do you know what? It's also the card of pregnancy. So I would say, yep, there's a love there for Dodie, and yep, they could have been looking at getting married. It's the card of weddings. It's also the card of pregnancies. So I think she was definitely trying to carve out some sort of long-lasting relationship with Dodie. There's no doubt about that. You know, this card is saying that they had plans in place to have a lovely, stable relationship. They were building foundations. This is the card of weddings, so you can't ignore that either. And it's also the card of pregnancies. So if she wasn't pregnant when she died, I think she would have been at some stage, but unfortunately she passed. But yeah, I would say another child was definitely on the cards for her, and she was definitely looking at building a relationship with Dodie. So that is interesting. And I pick up on, you can see love cards here, can't you? So I would say that she had a lot more love for Dodie than she did for Charles. That's what that's suggesting. What about Kate? Would she approve of Kate? Oh, look, yeah, she definitely would. So, you know, she'd actually be proud to... Sorry, I got a bit emotional there. She'd be proud to say, Mum, you know, she sees her as a daughter. So, that's really sad, isn't it? So, yeah, she sees Kate... Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting upset. She sees Kate as someone who's very grounded in motherhood, because one thing you can't take from Diana is that she was a great mother. She loved her children. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so upset. But yeah, she sees Kate as someone like her, a great mother, someone that invested in her children, and she would have been proud to call her her daughter-in-law for sure. So I can say that about Kate, okay? That I don't know why I'm so upset with that, but yeah, she would love to have called Kate her daughter. You know, she loves her. Anyway, let's just move on from that. That's really sad. Yes, so she loves Kate. If she's looking down, she thinks, yeah, she's a great mother. And yeah, she has a lot of love for Kate. Sorry for crying. Oh, God. Next question was, you know, what she think of Meghan? Because that's the two daughters-in-law. I mean, look at the contrast. That's certainly stopped the tears, hasn't it? She doesn't like Meghan. Like, if she's looking down, it's really weird because the narrative of Harry and Meghan is that, you know, Diana wanted to escape, didn't she, from the royal family, and I think Meghan followed that narrative of Diana. You know, I want to escape from the royal family. Well, she sees Meghan as a devil because she's driven a rift between the boys, hasn't she? So yes, it's total contrast, isn't it? She loves Kate, sees her in herself like that sort of motherhood role. She connects with Kate on the love for the children. I don't know why I get upset about that. And then with Meghan, unfortunately, no. I mean, with Meghan, it's just a terrible card, isn't it, to pull? She's seen someone who is just absolutely like the devil. She's gone between the two boys. Because even though Diana was destructive in her character, she understood the importance of the royal family. She really did. I get that from her. Even though she was, like I said, she's like a flower in a hurricane. She's all over the place. She's beautiful, but she's you know, she's caught up in this whirlwind of a mess. Like, I really think she found life hard, and it's really sad actually at that beginning where it said, you know, emotional freedom. Was that her death, emotional freedom? But at the same time, you know, when I've asked about Dodie, you know, it looked like she was setting up a good life for herself. So to go back to that first card and saying about emotional freedom, well, only Charles will be emotionally free after her death. That's what that's suggesting. And that's why that, you know, when you do the cards, it's all organic, it all adds up together at the end. But what I would say is with Meghan, no, she doesn't like Meghan. If she's watching down, she sees her as a devil. She sees her as someone that's become between her sons, and her sons were everything. She sees her as a lustful character. No good, quite basically. She sees no good coming out of Markle at all, and it's really weird because sometimes I think with Markle, I do get that she's unstable, you know. I mean, she's a reading in herself. She's got that self-harm and restriction, etc., that Diana had in her character. But what Diana would never do is destroy the royal family. She's always understood their importance, and I think that's why the Queen respected her in that respect, because she understood the importance of the royal family. There's no doubt about that at all. She just couldn't cope within that atmosphere. Now, Meghan is similar in that respect. She's saying, oh, they took my passport. She went through this whole thing, didn't she, where she says she felt that she was entrapped by the royal family. Now, if all of that is true, and Diana said she felt trapped, wouldn't this card be a card of compassion and saying, you know, that, yeah, I totally recognise that. I felt like that too. What we've got is a devil card, haven't we? And she's seeing, I mean, it's a card of entrapment. So she sees Meghan just like what Camilla said. So there's them women, that's one thing they agree on. Like Camilla said to a friend, didn't she, that she felt that Meghan had brainwashed Harry, and here is Diana saying that she's entrapped him, she's trapped him. So, and she's disempowered him. So very interesting, this card to pull for Meghan. Yeah, it's saying that she's got no time for Meghan at all. She doesn't approve of her. She sees her as the devil. Find it very interesting because I think Meghan definitely has tried to follow a narrative of Diana and like, oh, and you know, Harry's done what Charles should have done and stood by her side and left the royal family, and all this sort of nonsense, that the narrative that they have. And what we have here actually is Diana saying, no, I don't like it at all. You've took away my son's masculinity, almost, she's saying, you know, and you've entrapped him and you've broke my boys up. That's the main thing. She's very, very protective of her boys, Diana. And with Kate, she's like, yep, she's unified, Kate, and she's done everything within her power to keep those, keep the peace in the royal family. And here we have this devil, if you like, that's come in, separate the boys. And yeah, Diana's not impressed by her at all. That's what I would say. So I think we'll leave that there. I mean, apologies for crying. I've really, there's some sort of emotion there between Diana and Kate as a mother. I mean, I feel like redoing the cards again because it's a bit embarrassing crying, but I won't redo them because, you know, this is what the cards are saying. And yeah, apologies for crying, but that's just really overwhelming. Something happened there when I pulled that card for Kate, and there was an instant connection there between Kate and Diana. There is something there, and she is looking down and she loves Kate because Kate is good for the royal family, good for her son. And then we have, of course, the complete opposite here, haven't we? She sees Markle as a devil that's separated her boys, brought a lot of shame on the royal family. And yeah, it's a completely different feel, isn't it? The two daughters-in-law. But I thought I'd ask the cards because I wanted to know. I was interested in, you know, if she's looking down, what does she think about her son's choices? So, okay, we'll leave that there. It's been quite an emotional reading. Don't know what it is. Just very emotional. So sorry for crying. I don't often do that, but I feel overwhelmed with that card. I could cry now. I feel overwhelmed by the Kate and Diana connection. It's very weird, but yeah, we'll leave that there. There'll be more to come, obviously. We're from Friday to Monday, Tarot News at 8, but we'll leave that there. Okay, take care. Bye.